Hello students, today in this video I shall continue discussion on the process of photosynthesis for standard 10, and for this chapter photosynthesis it is video number 3. Here it is, photosynthesis video number 3 for class 10. In this video, I shall discuss about details of the process of photosynthesis, and in this video we'll discuss light reactions. The process of photosynthesis. The overall reaction of the whole process is this. Whenever we represent any reaction, we represent in the form of a chemical formula. And this, as a biochemical process, is also been represented by a chemical formula as is been given there. Carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 CO2, 12 H2O, in presence of sunlight trapped by chlorophyll, produce 1 molecule of glucose, this is C6H12O6, glucose, 6 molecule of water and 6 molecule of oxygen gas which is liberated out. So this is the overall reaction of the process of photosynthesis. Though it looks very simple, but the actual process does not take place in this simple way. Actually, carbon dioxide do not react with water. You can try it. Carbon dioxide goes out of our mouth in the breathing out process. You can blow air into the water, you will not see any reaction take place. The most common thing that can happen, some carbon dioxide may dissolve in water, that's all. There is no reaction. Actually, this way reaction does not take place. It takes place in a series of reactions that is been explained here. However, the actual process does not proceed in the single step reaction shown above. This does not proceed in that way. It is a series of reactions. Those take place by the influence of enzymes in each step. It's a series of reactions take place, starting with the reactants of the process. And so many are reactions, and each step is being influenced by one enzyme. So many reactions takes place. To understand those reactions better, the total series of reactions are divided into 2 groups or sets, judging their characteristics. All the biochemical reactions of the process is therefore divided into 2 distinct but related phases on the basis of their characteristics. They are 2: light phase or reactions, we also call light reaction, we also call light phase, or it is also called photochemical phase, because photo means light is required in this phase, that's why photochemical phase. Or it is called light dependent phase, means it depends upon light to occur. That's why it is called light dependent phase, or it is also called Hill reaction. In fact, Robin Hill, the English scientist, first discovered the process, though there were different reactions, and reactions were different and opinions were also different, but he first focused on the process of light reaction. That's why after his name it is also called Hill reaction, after the name of scientist Robin Hill. So this is the first phase, where certain stages of reaction take place, and that stages followed up by second phase, dark reaction or phase, dark phase or reaction, or biosynthetic phase, because in this phase glucose is produced, or light independent phase. In fact, this is the misnomer of the name dark phase. We call it dark phase, but it does not take place in dark. it is light independent, hence we are calling it dark. There may be some misconception, but thinking that the dark phase of or dark reactions taking place in dark means after the sunset, it is not true. It is actually light independent, hence the name also, light independent phase, or also called Blackman's reaction. Scientist Blackman first discovered this phase. So after his name, we remember the phase, the dark phase or biosynthetic phase or light independent phase is called Blackman's reaction. So first of all, we will discuss about light phase of reactions. Light phase or light dependent phase. This site of reaction, where does this reaction take place? Light phase. That is the most important part that we already have discussed earlier when the machinery of photosynthesis we have discussed, the chloroplast. Occurs in the thylakoids of the grana of the chloroplasts. In the thylakoids, you have seen the parts of the thylakoids inside which the quantasomes are there, where actually chlorophyll is located. There is actually the reaction site. You have seen it there in the previous study material video. So this one, the process, it takes place in chloroplasts in the grana. This event takes place, and if 5 major events takes place in this. This process shows 5 important events. One by one I will tell you these 5 important events. First event is excitation of chlorophyll molecules. Excitation of chlorophyll molecules. When light falls on the leaves, this light is absorbed by the chlorophyll molecules and the chlorophyll molecules get excited or activated. When light falls on the leaves, the light energy or photons, we call it photons also, are absorbed by chlorophyll molecules and they get activated or excited. They get activated or excited. That was the event number 1. Event number 2 is this. Event number 2 is photolysis of water. Photolysis of water, the most important event of the phase. What is it? Splitting of water or breakdown of water molecules. Let us see. Activated or excited chlorophyll molecules is used to split water molecules into its component ions. Activated or excited chlorophyll molecules, which releases electron, energy rich. When you have studied chemistry, you know that when a particular atom is having electrons in its outer shell, when they are getting more energy, the electrons are jumping out of the outer shell. This is happening with the chlorophyll molecules. When they absorb energy with the excessive energy, electron molecules jump out with high energy level. These high energy electrons used to split water molecules into its component ions. Actually, this has been said, actually the energy rich electrons emerging from the chlorophyll molecules use their energy to break down water. The reaction is simple reaction. Water molecule H2O break down into its component ions H plus, H minus. H2O, this is the electron energy rich, break down H plus and H minus. This is called photolysis of water. Lysis means break, photo means light. By means of light energy, the water molecules are broken down. This is called photolysis. If you are asked what is photolysis of water? Photolysis of water is splitting of water molecules into its component ion. Okay, so this is photolysis, the second event that takes place in light phase. Third event is production of molecular oxygen. In this event, prior to the formation of glucose, the byproduct produced, the oxygen molecule. Production of molecular oxygen, how it is done? The OH minus ions, the hydroxyl ions, accumulate to produce oxygen gas, the byproduct. You see, byproduct is produced before or prior to the product. In fact, when 4 molecules of water is split, 1 molecule of oxygen is produced. How it is so? This reaction will tell you the clear fact. 4 molecules of water broken down to 4H plus and 4OH minus. This 4OH minus release their electron to become radical form, and this radical form finally divided into 2 molecules of water and 1 molecule of oxygen gas, and that is evolved. So minimum 4 molecules of water to be split to produce 1 molecule of oxygen gas. And here is the proof. So this is another important event where byproduct oxygen gas is produced. Fourth event is another important event called photophosphorylation. Photo, PHOTO, PHOS, PHO, RYLATION. Photophosphorylation. Please break them into syllables so that you can remember the spelling. Photophosphorylation. What is this? It is actually the energy rich electrons. The energy is once again used to produce ATP molecules from ADP and IP. The energy rich electrons available by the above process are utilized to form energy rich ATP molecules from ADP and IP. ADP means adenosine diphosphate, which is not having energy. It is already present there in the cells. And IP means inorganic phosphate. It is also already present there, but they are not at all having any connections between the two. When energy is available, this ADP and IP join together to form ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Diphosphate added with one more phosphate becomes triphosphate, and that ATP molecule is a storehouse or currency of energy in case of living cells. ADP, the reaction is ADP plus IP, inorganic phosphate. This is written inorganic phosphate. Energy rich electrons, available energy is joined to form ATP molecules. This is another important event that is taking place in light phase called photophosphorylation. And because of this phase, you remember potassium ion concentration theory has been established because ATP is available prior to the availability of glucose. And the fifth event, though it is not takes place sequentially at the last of the other 4 events, it is taking place simultaneously when the water is split, is production of the reducing agent. When the water is split, it is producing H plus and OH minus ions. OH minus, you have already seen that they produce oxygen and water molecules. What happens to H plus? The answer is this. It produces a reducing agent. Let us see event number 5. Though it is not taking place at last of the other events, it is taking place simultaneously. Production of reducing agent. A complicated organic compound abbreviated as NADP. NADP. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. The full form of NADP is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Please remember this very carefully because this is repeatedly and again asked in different questions. Write the full form of NADP. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. This is already present in the cells, is already present in the grana, pick up H plus ions. The H plus ions that was available from the splitting of water is utilized by NADP. They pick up H plus ions and from photolysis of water to become a reducing agent NADPH or NADPH2. This NADPH2, it is behaving like a reducing agent and will be utilized in the dark phase of reactions, and hence it is the end product of this light. One of the end products of the light phase is another prime product of light reactions. The reaction is NADP H plus ions, electrons removed, and they become NADPH2. This NADPH2 is used in the dark reactions to produce glucose. So this is very important product for which the dark reactions are waiting to continue their procedure. NADPH2 will be available, then the reduction process will start where carbon dioxide will be reduced to form glucose. Hence, there are two prime products of light phase. So overall sum up thing when you do for light phase, what you see two products of light phase and two byproducts. The two prime products of light phase are ATP molecules, energy-rich ATP molecules, that is also used in the dark phase and also in number of other activities of the cell. And NADPH2, the reducing agent, both of these are required in the next phase. That means dark phase or light independent phase to produce glucose. So dark phase is not takes place in dark, but they wait for these ATP molecules and NADPH2 so that they can proceed further for reduction of carbon dioxide to produce glucose. And there are two prime byproducts produced, oxygen gas that you have already seen. Mostly this gas is released in the atmosphere, though a part of it may be used for respiration of the plant, and in certain cases photorespiration is there. You will study it in higher class, but mostly the oxygen gas is liberated into the atmosphere. That makes our atmosphere cleaner. This is the reason why photosynthesis is important to us. And second one, the water molecules. Water molecules is reutilized in the light phase because you know the water molecules are needed to be split and it is a raw material. So it is reutilized in the phase, and once again the process is continued. So this is the completion of light reactions. In the next video, I will discuss the dark phase and the other aspects of photosynthesis.